Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. Thank you everyone that submitted questions for this week's Doctor Who Q&A. Again, it's just part 1 of the finale. Part 2 next week. Hopefully we'll get all of our questions answered. In case some of you haven't seen the episode yet, just blanket spoiler warning for Missy's true identity. I know there were some questions about whether or not she might be lying about who she is. Moffat pretty much answered that during the Doctor Who Extra episode. What he said is that he just really likes Michelle Gomez's version of the Master and thinks that she's going to be much scarier for children. I'm just taking that to be confirmation that she is in fact the Master or the Mistress, however you want to think about it, and will continue to be so indefinitely. Just a funny and terrifying version of Mary Poppins that can regenerate. And for those asking whether or not this is heralding a future female Doctor, I don't think that Moffat cast her as a test for a future female Doctor. I think he just felt that she was the perfect person for who he wanted the Master to be. I don't think there's any other secret agenda. So, let's answer some questions. Question number 1. GeoX Machinima asks, what regeneration do you think Missy is in? Depending on which regeneration you think Derek Jacobi is, I would say she's got at least half of her regenerations left, probably more than that. What we don't know is how many regenerations John Sim has burned since he got trapped in the Pocket Universe with Gallifrey. Technically, at the end of time, that was the time lock Gallifrey. The Pocket Universe didn't happen until after the 50th. There's so many questions about what happened after the 50th, I'm hoping the second part of the finale answers those. They might bring up the issue of Capaldi's remaining regenerations. Personally, I think he has a whole new cycle. I don't think that Missy's gonna try and steal those regenerations. I think she's got plenty. I think that trying to add that in would already overcomplicate this invasion plot, but it is possible they could do that. Question number 2, Hagar asks, how far back in time has Missy been stealing dead people? Since she's so preoccupied with Clara, I would say that she has all of the Claras, all the way back to Victorian Clara. Using that as a benchmark, just say everyone since Victorian times. Again, also raises a whole lot of questions about how the Master got there. Does he have a TARDIS? Is that red phone booth his TARDIS or her TARDIS? Just more things that the finale has to explain. If she has been saving people, that would mean that she has the bodies of all the previous Doctor Who companions. That's an interesting thought, so hopefully the finale is going to follow up on that. Question number 3, Schrodinger the cat asks, what was up with Missy saying, the one you abandoned? I think that's just a reference to the end of time. I think the Master knew about the Doctor saving Gallifrey and felt like the Doctor abandoned him inside that Pocket Universe. Even though the 50th changed the timeline a little bit, I think that all the Time Lords and Time Ladies, whoever's on Gallifrey, has knowledge of what happened and what preceded it. So they'll know about Time Lock Gallifrey, there's the issue of Rassilon, what's going on with him, everyone that's left there. I will say, I'll be a little bit upset if they don't address what happened between End of Time and the 50th on Gallifrey. Sometimes it can get a bit timey-wimey with exposition. Question number 4, Shadow asks, couldn't the Doctor just snap his fingers and open the TARDIS? Yes, there are actually a couple people that can do that. Like he said though, he was just testing to see how far Clara would go. I think the explanation is that Clara doesn't know other people can snap their fingers to open the TARDIS. She doesn't know it's a really easy thing. The other way to explain it is that the keys are something like siege mode, and they lock the TARDIS down in a way that finger snapping can't fix. Best guess though is that Clara was just off her rocker and wasn't thinking about the finger snapping. Question number 5, Adrian asks, if Missy was able to get out of the Pocket Universe where Gallifrey is, do you think the Doctor will ask her about it and how to find it? Definitely, I think they'll absolutely talk about Gallifrey. We've spent all of Series 8 not talking about Gallifrey. What happened in the 50th was just too big to completely ignore for an entire season, so at some point the Master will have to explain how he escaped, presumably using Time Lord technology. The big question there is, if the Master could escape, how come all the other Time Lords didn't escape too? Even though all the Time Lords and Time Ladies are special, the Doctor and the Master are extra special, so you could just look at them as being a little more clever. Presumably the Master figured something out that the other Time Lords and Time Ladies could not figure out. Question number 6, Junior Creeper asks, do you think that Missy will be a recurring villain like the classic versions of the Master? And do you think the Cybermen need a break again like the classics after this episode? So about Missy, yes, I think she will be recurring, at least until Michelle Gomez can't play the character anymore, or Moffat feels like he has a new idea that's better. Just in general, I would expect her to stick around as long as Capaldi sticks around. As for the Cybermen, I know you're talking about the invasion, like after that invasion episode during the second Doctor's run. They didn't show up for something like 5 years. Moffat has used the Cybermen quite a bit, so I wouldn't mind if he retired them for a little while. He did come up with the Silence, so I'm looking forward to them creating some new monsters for Series 9. Question number 7, Tammy asks, if the Master could regenerate into a woman, does that mean the Doctor could as well? Yes, he totally can. They can basically look like whatever they want to look like. Sometimes it requires more effort. Classic Who explained the mechanics of regeneration just a little bit better. For all intents and purposes though, the Doctor can look like whatever he wants to look like, or he can make it a random thing. Question number 8, Joe asked, do you think we'll see a regeneration from Sim to Missy? And if not, do you think that Moffat would use it to do another revision like he did with the War Doctor? Oh, you mean like inserting someone into their timeline? Yes, I do think that it's possible we'll see a regeneration from Sim to Missy. Even though John Sim does have another show on BBC America, it's totally possible that he came in for a one-off scene. I think they'll at least explain the regeneration, even if they don't show it. I'm not expecting Moffat to do a War Doctor thing though. That was just something to explain the break in Doctor Who after the Doctor Who movie and before the 2005 series started. So I don't think there'll be an equivalent War Master. It'll be Sim to Missy, and that's it. Question number 9, Tom asks, if Missy is collecting skeletons, how many do you think she has? Well, she said the dead outnumber the living, so it would have to be more than like 6 or 7 billion. However many people are alive today, it would be more than that. I don't know how they'll show that on screen because that is a hell of a lot of Cybermen. They have had some pretty good special effects during Series 8, but I think mostly we'll see stuff happening in London, right around St. Paul's Cathedral. That's just where they were filming most of the outdoor scenes. Question number 10, Nick Nax asks, if Clara leaves, do you think that Missy would travel with the Doctor next? No, I actually think that we would meet the next companion during the Christmas special, just like we did when we met Clara for the first time. Even though Clara became the first companion and then died in that same episode. That was a bit of a bummer. Hopefully they'll explain why the Master or the Mistress chose Clara and how that ties into Victorian Clara. Thank you so much everyone for submitting questions. These are always a ton of fun to do. Again, so many questions left that the finale has to answer. Hopefully they'll wrap all those things up. Congratulations to this week's giveaway winner, Temporal Thane. You win an Amazon gift card. Be sure to message me on my channel or somewhere on social like Twitter or Facebook for details. So one more episode to go, and then we have about 2 solid months of no Doctor Who, then Christmas special, and then we can talk about Sherlock. Lots of Sherlock coming. So right now, click here for my episode 11 video, and click here for my episode 10 video. Thank you so much for watching. So let's all high five, and I'll see you guys tonight.